All right, hey everybody, and welcome to today's Palo Alto, SLED security recruitment webinar. I see a few more attendees kind of logging in, so we'll begin in a minute. Just kind of give everyone a chance to get settled, and then we'll go over intros and kind of kick everything off. All right, well, we can go ahead and get started. But good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Martin Wisniewski. I'm a business development manager here at TD SYNNEX, specifically supporting Palo Alto and the public sector group, where we really focus on accelerating public sector growth for technology companies. And so before we get started, we'll just go over a few housekeeping items before we kind of kick everything off and get into the content. So this session will be recorded. And the recording will be, made available to everybody that attended after the live session, typically within 1 week. If anybody would like a copy of this recording, just please feel free to visit the DLT Marketplace to view. I mean, I'm sure that we can provide a link as well once follow-up emails are also sent out or sent out afterwards. And if you have any technical questions, please feel free to reach out to Felicia directly. That's in the chat. And make sure that your lines are muted for the duration of the webinar, just so that we don't have any feedback or anything, of that nature. But yeah, next slide. So yeah, just a brief overview or background on myself. I am a business development manager here at TD SYNNEX. Like I said, strictly supporting Palo Alto Networks as well as the public sector space.
And I'll introduce myself. My name is Jamie Grimm. I'm the Senior Manager over our Public Sector Business Development team, which is the team that's responsible for helping our resellers navigate a public sector program. And I'm happy to be here. The contracts is one of my favorite subjects. I've been with TD SYNNEX for 10 years, and I'm always available for a call or an email or
I think Marty is having some technical difficulties. Let's give it a second to see if he can get back in.
Hey, if Marty's unable to jump back into the call, I can go over the presentation at a high level. And we'll give him a couple of minutes to jump in. And if he's unable, I am happy to hop in and talk about the Palo side.
Thank you, Vicki.
Sure. Let's give it maybe one more minute. And if Marty's not on the call, I will start talking a little bit about the Palo business. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with the Palo side of business. Just let me do a real brief introduction of who I am. My name is Vicki Deller. I work on the Palo Alto Networks BD team. I have been a part of the team for going on 7 years now. And I do program management for the team. So I help develop some of the programs that help to drive the Palo business. And so I'm going to step in for Marty today and talk a little bit about the Palo business. And I'm going to keep it at a high level and know that Marty and I are available for any questions or any conversations after the call that you might want some more information or details about anything I mentioned today. So Palo Alto Networks, great company, great products, and the TD SYNNEX team that helps support the Palo Alto Network business is amazing. The team that we have here at TD SYNNEX, we have a combined experience of 80 years in business development and enablement, focusing on the security network growth. And in the last 2 or 3 years, our partners have seen an average partner revenue growth of about 20% year over year. And this has been recent with some of the changes we made on the team about 2 or 3 years ago. We have really become a well-oiled machine, and we are able to really help our partners grow their Palo business. And an average of 20%, we've seen some partners upwards of 50%. It's been an amazing couple of years, and we don't see that slowing down anytime soon. We are a great team to work with. We have over 35 dedicated employees who contribute to making partners' experience with learning and selling Palo super easy and profitable. And the 35 employees we'll talk about on the next slide. If we want to move on to the next slide. So, okay, cool. Yeah, so I've said over 80 years experience, and that's the combined team. On the business development team alone, we have over 60 years of experience. We have 10 really seasoned and expert business development managers on our team who focus solely on Palo Alto Networks. We don't support any other vendor line. We support Palo specifically. We know our business. We've got a tight relationship with Palo, and we can certainly help you grow your Palo business. We have on the team a pre-sales engineering team. We have 4 dedicated pre-sales engineers, top rated. I would say that our pre-sales engineering team probably know as much, if not more, than some of the Palo folks. Most of, I know I want to say all of our pre-sales engineers now hold a minimum of a PCNSE, which is one of the Palo certifications that is required for any specialization path. And our pre-sales engineering team are amazing. They're here to help you with, learning more about the product portfolio, from anything from just what is the product portfolio, what does each one of the products do, to how does that work? How does that work in my environment? So our pre-sales engineering team can help your team learn all about the portfolio and then how it works. And they're super technical. And our operations team, we've got 10 members on our operations team that are just super efficient and super speedy fast. They have a 99% accuracy rate on order processing. I know that may not mean much to anybody that's listening on this call, but it is a huge big deal. And the reason it's a big deal is if you're trying to process a PO, no matter what time or what phase of the quarter or month it's in, our team can get that PO through 99% of the time without any issues whatsoever. And sometimes getting that PO through at the last minute is so important to get that through without any issues. Our quote turnaround time is about 4 to 6 hours, and we're kind of saying that, but usually it's more like an hour. And the other thing about our operations team, within our operations team, we have 3 or 4 folks that focus on just turning the business. And then we have an entire quoting team on the back end that are trained to help recognize when a partner is not taking advantage of maybe a discount that they were eligible for, or maybe they didn't add gold seal, or maybe there's an opportunity to make more, discounts. Amazing back-end operations team. This team have been together now for about 5 or 6 years, and they just burn and churn, just like they're amazing. And then we have our GovSol team, part of them on the call today. And I'm not going to say much about the GovSol team. They're here. Jamie's here to represent GovSol and talk about some of the contracts that we have and some of the Palo contracts you guys will be able to utilize. Amazing GovSol team. And also on the Palo team, we have a support team. We have, authorized training partner training center, where we offer all the Palo classes. Palo does not do any of their own training any longer. They farm the training out to an authorized training partner. And to become an authorized training partner, it's a difficult task to become an authorized training partner. Many certifications involved, many tests involved, and we have been an authorized training partner for Palo for a long time now, ever since I've been a part of the team, going on 6 years. So we do deliver their training. As a matter of fact, I just heard this morning that Palo have come to us to ask us to deliver training for their internal teams. That's how good our training center is here at TD SYNNEX. We also have a great support center. We've been recognized as the best ASC rating from Palo. That's pretty fancy terms for you guys are pretty good. And then we have the Certified Professional Service Partner program as well. I went over our organization very quickly and very high level, with the thought in mind, 2 things. I just wanted to really touch on who our team is and what we do and how we come together as a team to make your Palo experience a good experience, a simple experience, and to help make you more profitable. But if you have any more questions in regards to our team or how we make it possible to help partners increase their year-over-year revenue, or how we bring on partners and train them, Marty and I are here to help you. One thing I do want to touch on is why does TD SYNNEX stand out as your distributor to use for Palo Alto Networks? We were the Distributor of the Year in 2022, and we've been nominated for the Distributor of the Year in 2023. We'll know the results of who won the 2023 nomination here in about a month. But to be up for this award 2 years in a row has been pretty cool for us. As I mentioned, about 3 years ago, we did a little reorg in our organization and have seen so many wonderful changes and have seen the Palo business just skyrocket. And that comes from the knowledge we have on our team and how we want to help our partners grow their business. I've mentioned this 2 or 3 times. We've helped partners increase their business an average of 20% year over year. We, as an internal team, have grown our Palo business 70% in the last 2 years, and that's not an error. That 70% is not any error. That we took our business to a $1 billion plus business this year. We've seen it grow substantially over the last 2 or 3 years. It's been amazing. And we, TD SYNNEX, are outpacing Palo's growth rate. I didn't have the exact percentage of how much we were outpacing them, but we are outpacing their rate. So that's pretty cool. Within our team, our specialties are enablement, strategy, revenue growth, and relationships. We really value the relationships we have with our partners, and we depend on those relationships to build trust and to help partners grow their Palo business based on their needs. So why Palo Alto Networks? I just, real quick, I want to do a check-in with Felicia and see if maybe Marty's checked in, if he's back online yet.
Unfortunately, his internet has gone down, and so I don't believe he'll be able to connect again at this time.
Okay, thank you. I'll finish up then. Thank you for that. This is a very high level of why Palo Alto Networks. And we're just going to touch on the 7 points of why Palo Alto Networks. I think anybody that is in the cybersecurity, security networking business have heard of Palo. They know their product is amazing. They know they keep growing. These are the 7 reasons why Palo, why you should add Palo to your card line. They've got a comprehensive best-in-class cybersecurity portfolio, and they really do, and they just keep growing that portfolio. I'm not going to go into the tidbit business. I think you guys will all get a copy of this presentation. They have zero trust with zero expectations. They are the only company that enables comprehensive zero trust throughout the entire digital ecosystems with continual verification of every interaction. Enabling the future of secure access. This includes like SASE solutions and ZTNS 2.0, Prisma SASE. It includes just a really great, secure access that will be available. Best-in-class protection for multi-cloud. Palo offers the only comprehensive cloud-native application protection platform with flexible integrated modules that secure you code the cloud. Prisma Cloud delivers full life cycle, full stack protection across all clouds. And the leading platform for autonomous SOC by leveraging the benefits of today's most advanced AI and automation, Palo have ensured that security teams can be prepared for what's next. The integrated Cortex portfolio transforms SOC. Your true partner for digital transformation. This is awesome. They are really the partner for digital transformation. And the world-class threat intelligence and incident response. Their Unit 42 business unit is amazing. And I have a lot more information about Palo. I just wanted to kind of reach it at a high level and let you guys know. These are the 7 bullets that Palo likes to talk about as why to use Palo. And I know I've gone over them very quickly and not in great detail. I have a really great slide that kind of calls out all the different product lines in their portfolio and how it all interacts. I didn't include it in this presentation simply because we're trying to keep this at a high level. But again, any questions about Palo and why Palo. I'm here to help you with that. And we can bring in our FSC team to talk at a really high level or even more technical level if you prefer about the Palo portfolio. Next slide, please. So with that, and I know that was really high level, we would like to invite anybody that's on this call to, if you're not currently selling Palo, we would like to invite you to join the Palo bandwagon. We'd love to help you start selling Palo. We'd love to help you see that 20%, growth year over year with your Palo. And you have this opportunity to do this by joining the Registered Partner Program. The Registered Partner Program is a program at Palo where there's zero requirements for the partners. You don't have to take the training. You don't have a minimum revenue requirement. You don't have to order any NFR gear. You simply say, I would love to join this program. I'd love to start dabbling in Palo. I'd love to learn more about Palo. I'd love to help start selling Palo. We'll take it from there. We have a dedicated team that supports the Registered Partner Program, and they are amazing. They will take it from there. They will help you get the training you need if you want training. There's all kinds of really cool tools we have in our toolbox that will help enable you and your team to sell Palo. And as long as you sell just like 1 or 2 transactions a year, you'll remain a registered partner. But no, there are opportunities to grow your business and move up the partner level from registered to innovator to platinum and diamond. And we've seen a lot of partners come into the Palo Next Wave Partner Program as registered partners. And we've had many that have moved up to diamond and a lot that have moved up to platinum. And several of them stay at the innovator level, but it's a great opportunity to get introduced to Palo and start selling Palo and add it to your portfolio. Some of the advantages of joining the partner program, other than what I just spoke about, you can utilize the contracts TD SYNNEX currently hold for the Palo Alto Networks, you can increase your network security portfolio, opportunity to gain experience and increase your Palo business. You get a dedicated team. You get an account manager, a business development manager, a program manager, and an FSC to support your growth, your Palo growth. We have internal and end user engagement activities, meaning that we offer for our partners, we offer many learning opportunities to learn about Palo. And then we also can do some end user opportunities for you to drive your end user business, your customer business. Regular cadence calls, free training and certifications if you participate in the Level Up program. White space account mapping if you participate in the Level Up program. And I could talk a little bit about the Level Up program in just a second, but we would like to invite anybody on this call who is interested in selling Palo to participate in the Registered Partner Program. And you can do that by simply reaching out to Marty. His information is on this slide, and you guys will get a copy of the slide deck. So you can either call him or shoot him an email. We'd love to have you as a part of our team. We'd love to help you grow your Palo business. I know I've gone over this information about the team and Palo at a super high level. I did that with the intent of hoping that if you guys are interested in learning more about Palo, you'll contact us. We can get you all the nitty-gritty details of everything you ever wanted to know about Palo and anything and everything you ever wanted to learn about Palo. Just reach out to us and we're willing to help you. And I'll even, if you're interested in joining the program and interested in learning about the Level Up program, happy to talk to you about that too. Just reach out to Marty and let him know what you're interested in, and we're happy to take care of you. And that's it from my side. We know that your time is valuable, and we really appreciate you guys taking the time to join this call. I hope to hear from you. There's a lot of benefits for joining the program, and would love to have you be a part of our team.
All right. So thank you very much for that overview of the Palo Alto product and programs. Now we're going to transition into how you can sell more Palo Alto solutions into the public sector space by use of the TD SYNNEX public sector program. So I also am going to intend on keeping this very high level because there's a lot of information to cover. And I just kind of want to whet your appetites around what contracts you have available to leverage Palo Alto solutions, who your points of contact are for support. And we're also going to cover a little bit around the how and why with public sector procurement, because I think sometimes that can be a little bit of a mystery for people. So let's get into the next slide. First and foremost, I would like to do a generalized introduction to our public sector program at large. There's a lot going on. We have combined to join forces with Tech Data and DLT. So now we are all one combined public sector program. So TD SYNNEX Public Sector is the combined team of all legacy programs from Tech Data, DLT, and SYNNEX. We have over 300 individuals on the team standing by to support you within your public sector business from all different perspectives. And that's what this slide is generally outlining here for you. So let's just take the first pillar of the three pillars that we have, and that's our subject matter experts. So within our public sector team, we understand that each vertical market within public sector are going to have their own particular needs. And you will then, of course, have your own particular questions and need specific resources around these specific verticals. As an example, if you want to know what's new and up and coming within education, and what type of pain points teachers and educators are experiencing within the classroom, we have individuals who used to be educators themselves and can help you understand the specific pain points that teachers and educators may be facing. The same around public safety. We've hired a chief of police, a homicide detective from Columbia, with a combined over 25 years worth of experience, law enforcement experience. And these are the individuals that head up these particular vertical markets. We have individuals that came from procurement agencies within New York City State. We have individuals that have worked with E-rate in education. We have a registered nurse that heads up our healthcare initiative. So really, no matter which vertical you're looking at, you've got someone to help you, talk to you as an expert within that particular market. And then, of course, the middle pillar, contracts and resources. Contracts is near and dear to my heart. That is my bread and butter every day. And it's my favorite thing to talk about because I really strongly believe that we've made our contracts program really easy for you to use, in that our contracts are easy for you to sell off of. They're easy for you to sell off of, and they're easy for your agency to purchase off of. So I'm going to get into more details around our contracts here in a minute, but just know that the TD SYNNEX contract portfolio is there to enable you as our reseller partner. We're not using our prime contracts to sell directly into the government space, but rather we own these contracts so we can give you the rights to use them as if they were your own. We also have a diversity alliance program that marries up against our contracts program very well. And several of the different contract vehicles that you can leverage will allow you as a set-aside partner to leverage your set-aside. So if you're a small business or woman-owned or veteran-owned company, you can also use your set-aside status on the subcontracting programs that we have for our contract vehicles. And we'll get into more details around that in a moment. And of course, we've got all kinds of support services within public sector. We can give you access to market intelligence tools. We have an E-rate tool that can help you educate yourselves and your internal teams around the complexities of E-rate. We have Grant Station, which is headed up by Lisa Rorick. She can help you uncover grants and funding for your agencies so you can help fund these opportunities that you uncover. Next slide, please. And these are some of those subject matter experts that I was referencing just a moment ago. These are our experts along the different verticals within public sector. Christian Ross, Will Reed, Mike Gambrell, all these individuals are here to be overlay for your teams to help advise you on their specific specialities. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I do think that this is an important thing to talk about. So the how and why behind how agencies purchase what they need to function as what they are. So when you look at the government, whether it be Fed or SLED, it doesn't matter. They really have select ways that they are allowed to spend the budgets that they get awarded. And they have to be very careful about how they spend this money because the budgets that are represented behind these different agencies, it reflects our tax dollars. So they have to make sure that they're using this funding appropriately. So that's why there are very specific channels in which these agencies have to function to purchase what they need. And it's everything from toilet paper to IT solutions. So let's just kind of high level review what those options are. Now that first one, the bid, the RFP or RFQ process. This is where that agency puts out a formal bid and is waiting for responses from anyone who would like to respond to that bid. This is where, competition is pitted up against itself. And the idea here is if you pit competition up against itself, kind of like gas stations on an intersection, the idea is that you will drive value up and pricing down. But the problem with the bid process is the fact that it's very time consuming and cumbersome. So there's a whole lot of back and forth. Again, you're pitted up against your competition, which can be difficult. Pricing can be driven down incredibly far, and it can be a very difficult, again, time-consuming path to try to take. So that is really why we focus on option 2 and 3, which are purchases that are done through a contract vehicle. Whether that be a state-specific contract, a cooperative contract, a GWAC contract. I really want you guys to consider contracts as a vehicle that helps you sell into the government space without having to go out to bid, without having to conduct that formal RFP process. And the boon to using a contract rather than going through the bid process is the fact that you may not have to compete against as much competition and you are able to get a faster award. You don't have to go through that bid process because contracts are going to make sure that that agency is purchasing in a compliant manner. So one analogy I'm going to throw out at you guys that I will probably continue throughout this webinar is just for a moment, I want you to consider contracts like vehicles. And it's actually a term that we use frequently to explain contracts. We call them contract vehicles. So a vehicle is a car. And if you are near a parking lot, you can look out your window and you see a car lot full of all different types of vehicles. There are vans and cars and trucks. And even within those different categories of vehicle, there are different makes and models. I'm here to tell you that government purchasing contracts are exactly the same thing. So a car helps you get from point A to point B a whole lot faster than if you had to walk. So walking in this analogy is the RFP bid process. Walking from point A to point B is going to take you a very long time. And by the time you actually get to point B, you're probably hot and sweaty and wondering why you didn't just get in your car to begin with. So continuing that analogy, that's why we like contract vehicles, because rather than walking to point B, the RFP process, you're able to put all of your solution into the trunk, get into the passenger or the driver's side, turn on the AC and some good tunes, and drive to point B. So you're able to get there, you're able to get to that order part of the process in a lot more comfortable manner. And you're also doing it in a compliant way, an easy way for your agency to purchase. Next slide, please. So when you have an opportunity with an agency, my biggest piece of advice to you is to talk procurement early and often. You do not want to wait until the solution itself has been finalized and you're ready to cut that PO. That is not the time to start talking procurement. In the very beginning, when your customer is interested from buying from you and you're talking about the different solutions that you can build out for them, that is when you need to start asking them what their preferred method is for purchase. And these agencies are all going to have different preferred methods, just like individuals have preferred vehicles that they like to drive. And I'm sure each of you on this call knows somebody in your life who refuses to drive anything but a Dodge truck or a Tesla or whatever it is that they are partial to. That individual says that they can only and will only drive that type of vehicle. But technically, they have the ability to drive anything. It could be a go-kart, right? But they have made that personal decision that that particular make and model is the only one that they want to drive. Well, agencies can be very similar when it comes to procurement. So that's a great idea to go ahead and ask them, what are your preferred methods for procurement? We can also help you with market intelligence to do that research on that particular agency and what they've used in the past for a procurement contract. So you can go to that conversation armed and ready, making sure that you have as much information around their preferred methods of purchase as possible. So that my team is here to help you with this type of question or these types of escalation. If you run into a situation where your state agency or the particular government agency that you're working with is asking for a procurement contract that you don't have access to, I don't want you to say no. I don't want you to say, oh, I don't have access to NASPO or I don't have access to New York OGS, so I can't help you. Because agencies can adopt alternative contracts for procurement, and we can help provide you with the information to help propose an alternative contract. And this last statement at step 4, in quotes here, this is a comment that you can say as an authorized subcontractor. And this statement itself has won more opportunities than not. So I'm just going to take a moment to read it because I think it does help clarify some things. But any reseller on this line, if you've been authorized and are a subcontractor on any of our contract vehicles, this is basically an opening statement that you can say to the government agency that you're looking to sell into. XYZ contract, you can fill that in with whatever it is, GSA, NCPA, Equalis, etc. XYZ contract is a publicly procured, competitively solicited contract award through my distributor partner, TD SYNNEX. We are authorized as a subcontractor under this contract. You and your company can buy our company's products and services through this contract without having to conduct your own bid or RFP. Next slide, please. All right. So now that we've talked a little bit about the different contracts, how they work, how government sector considers buying the different solutions that they need, I want to outline the different contract vehicles that TD SYNNEX owns and manages, where you can find Palo Alto Networks solutions. So first and foremost, let's cover GSA. TD SYNNEX was awarded this GSA contract decades ago. This was one of our first schedules, and it does boast Palo Alto product. Now, GSA historically is used in the federal space, but we're only authorized to use our GSA contract for Palo Alto products in the SLED space only. And that is applicable for just the Palo Alto products itself. All other OEMs on that contract, which boasts about 250 different manufacturers, are open to the federal space. But this is just a limitation we have around the solutions for Palo. And since we have Palo Alto product available on our GSA contract, you as a reseller also have the ability to go after and own your own CMAS contract. CMAS is very popular in education, specifically in the state of California, and we can provide you a package that will allow you as a reseller to go after and own and manage your own CMAS contract using our GSA contract as that base award. Next slide, please. Continuing the contract vehicles that you have open to you, we also manage Palo Alto's NASPO contract, Palo Alto South Carolina contract. Their products also represented on Ohio STS and Texas DIR. So a lot of great state-specific contracts are open to Palo Alto as well. Next slide. And you thought I was done, but there are more. We have an incredible portfolio that supports Palo Alto products with TD SYNNEX. And I'd like to finish my review of specific contracts with my personal favorites. And these are our catalog cooperative contracts, NCPA, OMNIA, Equalis, and PEPM catalog. These are all really fun schedules. And the reason why is because they, by merit of the award, cover everything sold by TD SYNNEX. So it's not just Palo Alto products, it's literally every single thing you can buy from TD SYNNEX. As long as it is available to sell and has an MSRP, it can be sold under NCPA, OMNIA, Equalis, and PEPM to any SLED agency across the entirety of the United States. That is incredible. These contracts will also facilitate your own professional services as a reseller partner. Next slide, please, as I continue talking about the merits of these contracts. Again, these schedules are piggyback contracts, which means that you do not have to go out to bid. State agencies, non-state agencies, even federal agencies can accept these contracts for procurement. Again, they do cover our entire line card, and they have some of the lowest administrative fees. So I want to make a comment on the admin fees around the contracts. So every contract you transact through will have a contract fee associated with it. But I want to clarify what that contract fee is, where it sits, and why it exists. So the contract fee itself is dictated by the contract. And when you order through TD SYNNEX using a contract vehicle, the majority of our subcontracting programs will build that contract fee into your purchase price as a reseller. And it ranges. It's anywhere from 0.75 to 75 basis points up to 2%. And it just kind of, the contract fee depends on which contract you're utilizing and the type of product you're selling. But it is as low as 0.75% and does not exceed 2%. We do add this into your purchase price at your time of order, so you do not have the burden of management in that you do not have to report back to TD SYNNEX when you use the contract and then having to pay a separate fee. Now, this contract fee, I want to highlight again, it is dictated by the contract itself. This is not TD SYNNEX adding an additional cost to this program. We do take the contract fee and send it back to the contract itself. So we are not charging you for use of these contract programs from a TD SYNNEX perspective. It is just the contract itself. So essentially, our contract programs are free for you to use as a TD SYNNEX reseller. Again, you can provide your own professional services under these contracts too. Sorry about that. They do to recognize your pricing in its entirety as a partner. So if you are eligible for special pricing programs with a vendor or within TD SYNNEX, these contracts allow you to use those special pricing programs as well. All right, next slide, please. So this is an important slide. And if all of you have just a second, if it's easy for you to access your web browser, I would ask that you do this actively. So go into Google or Bing, whatever browser you use, and the search parameters you want to type in are TD SYNNEX contract. After that search, the very first hyperlink that pops up is what you're after. This is our contracts portfolio. This is the page where you can go to find the contracts team, the price files for the different schedules, the terms and conditions of the contracts. If you're part of a contract vehicle that does require reporting, which are exceptions, but if you are having to do reporting on one of the contracts, this is where you would get access to that reporting portal. This is where you can get access to the lists of government agencies that have used particular contracts for purchasing schedules and more. So this is a really important web page to understand and utilize. So please make a note of that. And if you can, please do bookmark it. Next slide, please. All right, so this is one I've been waiting to get to. This is the team that sits and is ready to help support you around all your public sector needs. So the way that this works, here's your homework, you guys. If you do not know who your public sector BD is, here's your chance. So what I want you to do is identify your HQ state and then map that state to one of the 4 individuals on the right. That is how you can identify who your public sector BD is. They are your main point of contact for all your public sector questions. If you need to become authorized on a contract, this is the individual that will walk you through the terms and conditions and get you the proper paperwork. If you're receiving questions from an agency that you're trying to sell into and you need help, this is also your point of contact. If you can't remember how to get to a vertical expert and you need help within public safety, this is also your point of contact. So please, if you don't know who your public sector specialist is, identify who that is on this map here and make it a point to reach out to them and say hi. Schedule a call with them and get an update. Now, I also want to point out Janie Franson. So to all of my friends at Palo Alto, just a refresher and a reminder for you, Janie is dedicated to you as a vendor. So as a vendor, if you need any assistance internally on understanding the hows and whys of where your product sits within our contract portfolio at TD SYNNEX, Janie is your point of contact. Next slide, please. And that's it. So thank you very much for your time today. I hope that I helped unravel some of the mysteries around public sector procurement. And really, most importantly, I hope that I expressed the fact that you have support. You're not out there alone, and you have someone to call up when you get a strange procurement question or an agency asking you about a contract you don't have access to, or if they're just throwing strange acronyms and you need help sorting it all out. We're here to help you, and we're looking forward to helping you more easily sell Palo Alto into that public sector space without that burden of all the red tape around the different ways agencies buy and do what they need to do. So thank you for your time today. And I hope there might be a question or two out there.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you as well, Vicky. I think we just have a couple quick questions I wanted to throw out there, and I think Marty's joined as well. So if you want to jump in, Marty, go ahead. Our first question is, how long does it take to complete a subcontracting program?
Oh, that's a good one. And I should have covered that. So thank you for that. So after you reach out to your public sector BD and you schedule a call with them, they will set up a 30-minute training with you. Within that 30-minute training, we're going to walk you through all the T's and C's of the contract, how to use it, what your marketing rights are, how to request a quote, if there's any reporting requirements or not, what that looks like. And all of that, again, will take 30 minutes. After that 30-minute training, we will send you a dealer agreement, which just requires 2 signatures. After that signature, you're pretty much set. So within a business day, we are able to authorize our new subcontractors under a contract.
Awesome. Or I guess another question would be, do I have to report my sales through the contract?
Yeah, okay, great question. And this is something that I get a lot because we have recently changed how we do business through our contract vehicles. So prior to May of 2023, reporting was required for all of our contract vehicles. And reporting basically means that after you use the contract for a sale, you have to come back to TD SYNNEX and report that sale line item by line item. Let us know who you sold it to and for what price. But we realized that that was a very cumbersome process for our reseller partners. And in an effort to make it easier, we are now able to add that contract fee into your purchase price at the time of order, thus relieving the need to do any back-end reporting to TD SYNNEX. Now, I will state that there is an exception around the TD SYNNEX managed contract. So NASPO does still require reporting if you're a subcontractor under that one. And so will the Palo Alto, South Carolina contract. So there are a few exceptions, but for the most part, no. You will not have to do any reporting. You just get to focus on doing what you do best as a reseller, which is selling.
Got it. We love that. And finally, just one last question, unless anyone has anything else to drop in the chat. Do special pricing and other discount programs work with contract purchases?
Absolutely. So I think there's a common misconception around contracts and pricing, what everything means. So let me just break that down for 1 second. So when you are using a contract as a reseller, I want you to know that the contract is going to have absolutely no jurisdiction over your purchase price as a partner. The only effect the contract will have on your purchase price is really the uplift. Again, that uplift to cover the contract fee. So we will increase your cost. We will not drive it down. But any special pricing, rebates, fifth, vendor programs, any type of programs like that that get your pricing lower as a partner absolutely apply to a contract sale. So yes, you are able to use your special pricing program. And just to clarify again, that contract has no jurisdiction over your purchase price, but what it will do, again, is increase your cost just to cover the contract fee. And it's also going to give you a ceiling. It's going to give you a limit on how high you can resell that product for. So when you get a quote back from TD SYNNEX under a contract, we will give you that ceiling price, and it will be labeled as the contract NTE, which stands for not to exceed. That contract ceiling price, again, is the cost that you can sell up to, but cannot exceed per the terms of the contract. So I hope that answered your question.
Got it. I think that's great, Jamie. Thank you both. Thank you guys all for joining us today. Thank you for your thorough answers as well. We have really enjoyed this webinar and having you guys with us. We will send a follow-up email that includes a replay of this webinar for everyone to check out. And that should be it for us today. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.